And good afternoon, everybody. This is Michael Filigera. I am with logicalsignals.com and tradershelpingtraders.com. And this is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Monday, June 14th, 2021. The market continues to follow my current analysis pretty much to a T. So just to give a quick review, here is the largest picture that I'm going to work with right now. And the reason being that I am quite satisfied still with everything that's happened previously and as it pertains to what is now unfolding. So again, we have been pushing higher in a minor fifth wave. So I'll start at that level. A minor fifth wave within an intermediate fifth wave within a primary third wave. So it's a pretty big move. And we've now got it all the way down to defined internals as this market gets itself up to an ultimate high, which should last for several months, at least several months, as it then moves through a primary fourth wave correction. More on that as it happens. Let's swing back into here. So I've kept it that this be the biggest picture because I'm fairly satisfied with the count all the way up to right here. So I do anticipate that that the market will unfold according to what's happening within the Elliott Wave. And so far, it's really doing well in terms of also moving above the levels that give us continued support to the count that we're using. Okay, so we had a really nice rally today, and I'm going to go down to my lower term charts, and because here I have also the hourly, but you can see it's much clearer to see. So there is the bottom of that small wave 2 that we were looking for. Then we're now in the third wave. And within that third wave, it is subdividing into its own five-wave structure. So here we have wave 1 of 3, wave 2 of 3, and now we're moving into a third of a third, and third of a third of a third, let me say. And it is subdividing. So again, we had 1, 2, and then we got another 1, 2. And here is the third, which I think has still more upside to go. And the reason being is, as I just kind of talked it out, is because of the subdivisions. So if that's a 1 and a 2 and I'm satisfied, here's where it starts to subdivide again. This is a 1 and that's a 2. And it really was nice. And it really was this morning. And when the market decided enough is enough, I mean, it took some nosedives within that first hour. And it wasn't as easy to trade as other parts of the day became, let me put it that way. But the market did well in terms of coming down, holding the higher levels that we looked for, and then picked up the rally again. And from then on, once that rally got in, so it reached up, first of all, it reached above 14,040 and then played around. So it was sat just below this resistance level. It's a Fibonacci level. And so it's sat just below it. But when it decided to break it, and you're going to see within that last hour today, not only did they broke it. So in an hour, they tacked on 80 points, basically. And what made it above, first of all, this next level, which I had felt that could hold, and that could end our wave 3, bring it back in, and then we rally again. But no, it did not. In fact, when it really broke here, it just broke, it just took off, went to the mid-90s, and then got itself above 14,100 and kept going. Ultimately reaching 4126 or 14,126 before it began to pull off. But for now, these pullbacks should remain shallow. And you could run Fibonacci's internally from here to here. You probably can run Fibonacci's internally from here to here to even make, to get all the subdivisions. You could take it to a lower chart. There's a 2-minute. You're not going to use a 2-minute to balance it against the hourly. But you can definitely go to a 15-minute or a 5. It's a 30, 15, 5, somewhere in there, and work out your Fibonacci from that level. But for now, it continues to tell me, the market continues to tell me this still has some upside to go. But as we can see on a full stochastic, that momentum is beginning to wane. Granted, there's no volume going through because the market is basically closed for another 45 minutes or so, 50 minutes, until Globex opens. Now, I do believe that we're going to have a little bit deeper of a pullback. We're not talking hundreds of points. At least I'm not feeling that it's going to be 100 points, but I believe the market will get up to the 100% level. But I am highly suspecting that it will eventually take it out. It may get here, pull back, and then go again before all is said and done. And we can put a number 3 up wherever this tops out. So right now, this is 1, this is 2. We're looking at the 3rd. So where the 3 is going to finish, and then a little 4, and then where the larger 3 is going to finish, I believe is somewhere up in here, maybe even above. When the market just kind of zipped above 14,100, it was as if this was all in a day's work. And these are new all-time highs. So I didn't see the selling that I thought I was going to see. So the triggers to sell at 14,100 were not there. So I think it can be pushed, and I think it will continue. And so my next major target, of course, would be the round number, 14,200. But I've got this right in between, and that could very well put a stop, let it pull back, and then go again, making this assault. And to tell you the truth, we don't have a whole lot of resistance Fibonacci-wise up here in new territory until we get to the next level at 1.236 times the length of wave 1. So that's where we stand. I think downside will be limited and stay within a very tight range accordingly to what level is being corrected. And then it rises again, pulls back, rises again. After that, ultimate, this new high, then the second new high, and then a third, in terms of, some strength, not all bunching around the area, but I'm talking new highs. Ultimately, it could get up to 14,200 and above. There's not a lot of resistance here because A, we've never been there before. And so we can't do any internals because there's nothing to do internals on. So this is where we rely on the Fibonacci relationships to what we're looking at. This third wave is related to already the first wave. And I'll go back out to that other chart real quick. So the third wave is related to this wave. And we already know that the third wave is the longest and the strongest. So yes, I'm expecting it to kind of go there. What's going to do it? Well, what took it here today? I don't know. It just is basically telling you these hold a pretty good high potential because of the nature. It's a third. Thirds are usually the longest and the strongest. So I wouldn't think that it's going to come in at 100% of wave 1. I would think it's going to come in a lot higher. And then it pulls back and then it runs yet again. So it's a 1, 2, wherever this comes in, it will be 3. Then it has a 4 and then a 5. So NASDAQ, somebody lit the fire. And we just need to pay close attention. Trade what's in front of you. Again, it's not always the easiest to do. But if you pay attention, you're going to catch these moves. If you trade the close, I know a lot of people choose not to because it can get pretty wacky. But today, boom, moving averages walked it all the way up to the close. There was absolutely not one reason on God's green earth to short this market. Not into the close. unless you absolutely had to. But if you were thinking you're going to make money on the short side into the bell today, you had to wait. You had to wait. And depending on how much you had and how high you got your average, you got some back. But who knows? Because the fact remains, it's like how much size did trade here versus what traded here? I don't know. So it definitively was not a seller's close. It was a buyer's close. And the moving average just helped you along. The 2, on the 1, the 2, and I'll put this down to the 5. I'm sure I'm going to see the same thing. And let's just open this up a little bit. And yeah, boom, sat right in it. Guided it all the way up. So I'm going to leave it there. Today's lessons. Folks, again, this is trade room talk. This is kind of how I get. And the trade room is going to be opening. So if you're on my mailing list, that's great because you will receive the promotional email, which will have all the links and all the codes so that you can get those promotional prices. But again, that'll be coming out this week. I'm looking to begin on June the 21st. Next update will be Tuesday the 15th.